Hello and welcome to another episode of A Jewish Mother
And a Latina.
So,
Yes.
we're doing more home improvements in the
doing
National's
more
house.
home improvements. Well, we did in June.
Right,
Yes.
right. When I was out of commission.
Yes, when you were out of commission. I'm saying we, but Peter elected not to participate in most of it because if it's my idea, I feel bad asking him to get involved unless there's something really like that I can't do by myself. Know what I mean?
Oh. See, now, if it's my idea, I like to get somebody else to do it for me anyway.
Sometimes.
Sometimes it's Peter.
Sometimes I use some trickery to get him to do stuff.
Don't give away the secret.
I'll start it. And then
have trouble.
And I'll trouble.
Did I ever tell you about my aunt when my uncle told her that she had to do his shirts when they first got married?
No.
Oh, he wanted her to make sure that they were cleaned and ironed every day. So she said, "Okay, Joe." That was his name. Joe. And she took his shirts and she put them in the wash and they came out like all wrinkled and crappy and she ironed them and they looked like garbage. And she said, "Look, I did your shirts, honey." He was like,
way.
"Oh, sweetie, you did such a good job. But you know what? You do so much around here. I'll just take them to the dry cleaner." Never did another shirt after that.
Do you know that I don't have to iron Peter's stuff?
He does it himself.
Yeah, or he doesn't iron. Like, here's the thing. He has shirts that he'll put them on and they iron because he stretches them out with his muscles. Know what I mean?
He's a walking ironing board.
They don't fit him loose enough for him to have to worry about wrinkling. So usually it's only the collar that has to get ironed. The rest of the shirt, he just puts it on and it's ironed.
Maybe he just needs a bigger neck.
No, it's not the neck. It's the polo shirt.
Oh, okay.
Now, I got to tell you about my brother-in-law, Paulie.
He has no neck?
Paulie? No, Paulie has a neck.
He has a neck. Okay. Sorry, Paulie. I didn't know.
Paulie irons like nobody you know.
Really?
Paulie can iron the heck out of anything.
Does Paulie iron his boxers?
I don't know. That I don't know.
I need to know the answer to this.
I don't know.
You have to ask Paulie.
You have to ask Lily, my sister Lily.
Lily, does Paulie iron his boxers?
I don't think so. But he's the person that irons in the house. He loves to iron. He loves a crisp shirt. He's Italian, so that should tell you something right there.
I bet you he loves crisp boxers too.
He can iron. Everything is like tight. Everything is just like fabulous. He's the ironing person and dry cleaners, obviously.
Of course.
But if anything needs to be ironed, if I stay over there with Peter,
Paulie's
he'll
your
go,
man.
"You have anything to iron?"
Yes.
And I'm like, "No, that's all right."
I emptied my closet for you, Paulie.
Paulie needs to start another business.
I'd pay him to iron my
Paulie needs
stuff.
to be like a gentleman's gentleman. You know what I mean?
Like a
maybe
butler.
when he retires.
A valet.
Yes,
Yes,
a valet.
a valet.
Like the
Yes.
ones from Downton Abbey.
Downton Abbey, or the guy on
Yes.
Titanic.
Yes.
What's his name?
The dead guy?
The guy with the gun, the scary dude that was going.
I don't remember.
Whatever.
It's a
Yeah.
great movie. But anyway.
We digress.
Yes. So
what was our home improvement project this time?
We well, you'll see. One was a wall repair and the other was painting.
Ooh.
Yeah.
I'm not allowed to touch the paint.
We'll show you what that's all about. And we'll let you comment on my whatever.
Oh boy.
Both of these things were done without Peter. So
sorry, Pete. Didn't need you for this one.
No, not that we didn't need him. It's just, again, I hate to involve him in something that I could do myself.
That he didn't volunteer for?
That he did not volunteer for. Let the man have, and it was June.
Oh, so he was finishing up the school year.
He was during school year, so that's when I do most of the projects, because then I can get away with anything. And I can do whatever I want, whenever I want, and not have to, negotiate, have a discussion.
Right, you make
do whatever
the decisions.
I want, make the decision, and move on from there.
So here's a little teaser for you. we will be doing some home improvements here as well.
Yes.
But we're finishing her house first.
Yeah.
And then we're going to rebuild my house.
All right. So let's go to the videotape.
So what we doing now?
Okay, so we had a little TV hanging in the corner here for when my mom was living with us, and I taped, you know when you tape that track to the wall?
Yes.
It's like double-sided whatever, so when we went to pull it off the wall, it pulled some of the wall off.
Pulled the wall.
Yeah, and that little box is where we dropped the wires.
Right.
Right? Except when we dropped the wires, we saw that the wires were not going to fall through, so we had to put that track on the wall. But we never patched up the wall. The curtain was there anyway, the corner curtains.
I never noticed that before.
Yeah, because it's right in the corner, in the very corner. So as you can see, this is all, I mean, it's really ripped.
I see.
The paper is really bad. So they tell you to take a little scraper. You got to first clean up the area. You just can't paint over it.
No, of course not.
So you got to sort of get rid of anything extra that's hanging. And then I had to start watching some YouTube videos.
Don't you have to sand it?
Yeah. So, yes, as you can see there, the more I pull, the more of the wall comes off.
Uh-huh.
So, So I found a video that said that if you score around the outside of the shape,
right,
which I'm doing here, and then you peel it, look what happens.
Ooh.
Oh my God. It comes out so clean. And when you peel it, it stops right at that spot where you were scoring it. Watch this. It's just really,
cool.
Look at that. You know, you got to do a little more cleanup there.
Of course.
But it actually stops it from pulling.
So smooth.
Isn't that nice? You know, you got to see. And it stops it right at the point where you scored the wall. And it doesn't keep tearing at the sheetrock. Look at this.
That's amazing.
Watch this. Watch this. Magic.
That is awesome.
Do you know how many damn videos I had to watch? No, I actually watched a couple.
Viv said, damn.
So here, I had already started patching the wall, and then I went back and did the whole little scoring thing and tried to clean up some of what I patched because I was like, this is not going to work. This is going to be a sloppy mess.
So you fixed it.
So I went back and I actually fixed it. Yeah.
Look at you go. I'm going to start calling you Tony.
And then forget it. Peter would come home and I'd be so excited. Look what I did. I was like, did you know that if you did blah, blah, see how clean that is?
So this is going to become a Jewish mother and a maintenance woman.
Look at this. I mean, I watched a lot of videos, though.
I see that.
So that's it pretty much cleaned up. After I tried to patch it with the mess, I went back, scored it, cleaned it up, and that's what I had left. And then I heard that you needed to put some type of glue stuff on it. I forget what it's called, but you get it at Home Depot.
Mod
but they
Podge?
sell it, they sell it in a giant bucket thing, and the guy described it as like a glue. So I was like, let me use decoupage, the Mod Podge from the freaking Michaels. So I went and I got that tiny little thing because I'm not going to use it again.
Right.
So I used it since he said the consistency was like wet Elmer's glue. I thought of Mod Podge.
Wow.
So you heard it here first, people.
Mod Podge.
I want credit for this. So you're doing that so that you seal the wall and the paint doesn't just soak through and wet.
Gotcha.
That part of the sheetrock, because now that's paper. Once you pull that top layer off, it's paper, and if you keep wetting it,
it's like cardboard.
It just becomes a mess. So you sort of have to seal it. So I sealed it with Mod Podge.
She sealed it with Elmer's glue on crack.
Mod Podge. Yep. And that's it. Yeah.
That is so cool.
Isn't that clever?
You're very clever,
Yeah.
Viv.
So here's the hole that Peter
boy.
had made to drop wires down, and then there was some kind of ledge or something. We could never drop the wires down, and that's why we had to use that other track thing.
Gotcha.
So now we have to figure out how to patch this. I watched another video. Here's the
Of
bottom
course.
one that we had to replace also. And somewhere in there's a piece of wood that was blocking the wire. So I took those pieces outside. I bought a piece of sheetrock, and I traced the shape onto a new piece of sheetrock to make a patch for the wall.
You did this all by yourself?
All by myself. After about 2 or 3 videos, YouTube. So I snapped a little piece of sheetrock. I scored it and snapped it the way Peter taught me many years ago. And then I traced out the shape, and then I scored around the shape. So that shape that says keep, that's the piece that's going to go into my wall. I scored around. I'm trying to make a patch for the wall. You'll see.
I'm definitely going to start calling you Tony.
Oh my God. Tony.
Yo, Tony, I got some stuff that needs to be fixed. Can you do my oil change too?
So yeah, so you just snap all the way around, and those pieces come right off. Watch, you'll see. Like that. And then you snap it. So I had to make 2 of those. Snap that other piece off. It just peels off, but you're kind of leaving behind
the little papery
stuff. So you want the box in the middle, and there it is. So now it's like a patch.
Check you out.
Right? And then I have to, that's me showing you where I'm going to cut it. So I made 2 patches in the same shape as the ones that I cut out of the wall. And of course I had to go back and sand it and make sure that it fit into the spot. And then there's the hole. And here's the patch that I'm slipping it into the wall. Right?
And it fit right in.
And it fit right in there. I had to like play with it a little while. And put some spackle over it, flatten it down.
Of course, and sand it.
And do all of that fun stuff. But there's the little patch I made. I had to play with it, pop it back out a little, flatten it out. And then I started mudding, which is just, spackling.
That sounds like fun, mudding.
Yeah, and then spackling that whole area that I had cut out and whatever. Did it a few times. I had to sand it and all of that. Okay, so this is leading down into the basement, and those are the edges that need to be done that Peter normally does.
Okay, are those the plants you're going to paint?
Yes, no. Those are the ones I have to get out of the way so that I can actually reach what I'm doing. Now, rather than stand on the ledge, which is why I wanted to do this while Peter was at work, I stood on the ladder and took care of this way because Peter stands on that ledge.
Peter's a crazy man.
Yes, and I was like, there's got to be another way to do this, and that's why I created this little tool for myself.
Yeah, I don't think you'd look good in a body cast.
Yeah, no. It's so scary.
Did you like that? I did.
I'm quite the handyman.
Tony. So it's going to be a Jewish mother and Tony.
And Tony.
Tony the Latina.
Tony the Latina? I need a Spanish name.
Tony the tiger. How do you say Tony
Latina?
Antonia.
Antonia.
We'll just call you Vivian.
Yes.
Well, I learned something today.
Yeah.
I hope you learned something today.
Yeah.
And we're going to learn a lot more when we just start doing my house.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Start with your front door.
Yeah. Oh, don't give it away. Yeah, we're going to start with my front door. It's a mess. So, we hope you enjoyed this episode of A Jewish Mother.
And the Latina.
And we will see you soon.
Don't forget,
Another
episode. We're not numbering the episodes?
Oh, we never did that before.
No, I know, but we did episode 1 season.
We did the first episode of season 2.
Oh, got it.
Okay, good. Let's see what comes out of my mouth. Okay, breathe.
Go.
All right. Hello, and never mind.
Okay. I can't see myself because I don't have my glasses on. All right.
You look beautiful.
Go ahead.
You look marvelous.
Go ahead.
Hello and welcome to another episode of A Jewish Mother and a Latina.